This video outlines step-by-step instructions to create a special needs onesie for any age from infant through adult that opens and ties in the back. Step 1. Begin with 2 t-shirts of the exact same size. I am using men's size large. You can use 2 t-shirts of the same color or contrasting colors. Determine which one you want to be on the top and which one will be on the bottom. Make sure that the bottoms are exactly the same size in width. Step 2. On the t-shirt that you plan to use for the bottom of the onesie, cut the t-shirt in half from armpit to armpit, separating the top from the bottom. It's actually okay if it has a pocket. You will just cut through the pocket. Step 3, pin the bottoms of the t-shirts together with the bottom half on the top side of the outer part of the t-shirt that is going to be the top. Pin them together right sides out and make sure that you pin it all the way around and do not pin the front to the back. Step 4. Now connect the bottom to the top by sewing all the way around twice. You might even decide that you want to add a zigzag stitch through the middle. I realized I put the heads of the pins in the wrong direction for a right-handed person. This will work for a left-handed person. When you pin your bottom, make sure that the pin heads are facing downward, not towards the top. You may want to pull the fabrics straight out and tight so that you get a good stitch. Step 5. Use the upper half of the bottom pant t-shirt to create the ties, the back center side facings, and the rectangular gusset for the crotch. First, cut up the side seam to open up both sleeves. Cut the sleeves away from the top, leaving the shoulder seam from the back behind. Cut the hems from the sleeves to use for the back ties. An adult size large will provide ties about 14 inches long. Place the sleeves on top of each other and cut into sections as shown, discarding the outer pieces. Use the 2 rectangular pieces as the back side facings for the center opening in the back. Throw away all the other pieces as you will not need them. Step 6. Lace the sleeves. Use the top of the pant t-shirt to create the rectangular gusset insert for the crotch. Cut a large rectangle from the back side of the top of the t-shirt to use for the rectangle gusset for the crotch. Don't use the front side with the pocket piece. You will fold the rectangle in half before attaching it and discard all the remaining pieces as you will not need them. Step 7. Using a yardstick and a ruler, measure and mark the back opening. I use 11 inches right down the back center for the size large shirt. Now, cut down your line, cutting through the back layer only to use for the back opening. Step 8. Attaching the side facings that you created earlier to the back opening. Right sides of fabric together. Attach the facings using pins. I pin one from the outside and one from the inside so that When I go to sew, most of the fabric is out to my left. See the next slide for a picture of the fold over. See how you did not sew that down? You leave an extra section at the top unsewed to be able to fold over for a nice closing. Now, sew the shirt to the facing with about 3/8 of an inch seam. Leave a section at the top to fold over. Next, you are going to turn each facing to the inside and pin it to where you have a nice border on both sides of the back. Next, sew the folded over facing to create a finished opening on the front side. Next, you will begin pinning the other side. Now, pin and attach the other side of the back facing and then sew through it. This is how the back should look after you have attached both facings. On the inside of the back, just leave the extra length hanging from both facings. Step 9, pin and sew the ties to the top on the outside and stitching across to make sure they're securely fastened. Step 10, inserting the crotch. Fold the bottom pant section in half and cut a section about 6 inches up and about 1 or 2 inches across. Then open it up and you have an opening. When I connect the gusset, I attach it so that the selvage is on the outside of the onesie, so that when wearing it, the seam is on the inside and there is no friction against the skin. Here is a gray one I sewed before. Pin the gusset all around, adjusting for the curve in the cut. Notice the gusset is on top and you are pinning the 2 open sides to the leg part on the bottom. Sew 2 seams so the seam will not rip apart. I actually cut the threads after the first seam and started the second seam from the top again. For the other side of the gusset, the leg fabric will be on top and the folded side of the gusset will be underneath. As it turns out, the remaining section of the pocket is on the outside. I usually don't use t-shirts that have pockets. I noticed that the gusset was actually longer than the leg opening. This is after I had sewed both sides of the gusset to the pant legs. You can see that one end is even and the other is uneven, so I cut the extra fabric off of the uneven end. When you're finished attaching the gusset, both seams of the legs should be on the outside of the garment. Your aim is comfort, not appearance. This is the finished front. Unless you're OCD about perfection, do not hem the bottom of the legs. This is t-shirt material and it will not ravel. Feel free to trim it so that it's even, or you can just leave it like it is. This is the finished back. Now that I have the process down, I can finish one in about 2 or 3 hours. I hope you are able to start making your own onesie rompers that keep hands from getting in places where we don't want them to go and keep the diapers and the onesies on. Purchasing special needs onesies can be very expensive, so if you can learn how to sew your own, they will serve you well. Use hand-me-down t-shirts or those t-shirts bought at a thrift store for softer material. If I have left a step off, please forgive me. I tried. Thank you for caring for our precious souls.